Praise the Lord, sing to the Lord a new song, and his praise in the assembly of saints. Let the triumph rejoice in their Maker.
It's Beer and Psalms Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
There's some David Erb action up in here.
All right, I can focus now. There you go.
Is this wrong to have a baby on the front of a beer bottle called breakfast stout? This just seems
That's
wrong.
funny.
It's got founders on the front.
Are they
the founder?
Are they encouraging underage drinking? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I always put a little beer in my kids' oatmeal.
I think that's illegal.
Not in my house, and not.
Hey, y'all, welcome to CrossPolitic. It's good to be with you on this Beer and Psalms Wednesday evening. Pastor Toby Chalk Knox, I'm the water boy.
But first,
No,
Okay.
not first yet.
All right.
Have you guys, I think it's about time that Jill Biden finally gets her recognition.
Dr. Jill becomes the Surgeon General, his wife.
Yeah,
Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
she's a doctor and
PhD.
yeah, I don't
I could be wrong.
Maybe
I thought
I think she's a teacher, but
What did she say?
They wanted, Whoopi was suggesting to make Dr. Jill Biden Surgeon General because she thinks she'd be a good doctor.
Oh,
And then they're all starting to think, but wait,
actually,
she might be a education PhD.
not a medical doctor.
Not a medical doctor.
Do you think they lost any sponsors off of stuff like that?
No.
No.
That's a primetime show
No.
on a well-known network, and they still got a job,
No.
and that bothers me.
Folks, our upcoming Fight Laugh Feast conference is just 4 months away from happening. No, it's not 4 months
No.
away. 70 days
That's
away
right.
We were told.
from happening in Knoxville, Tennessee. Thanks for telling me in my ear, guys.
we have that tech? Wow.
In Knoxville, Tennessee, October 6th through the 8th. Don't miss Beer and Psalms. Speaking of which, my beer is still not open. But our amazing lineup of speakers, which includes George Gilder, Jared Longshore, Pastor Doug Wilson, Dr. Med Merkel, who could be our next Surgeon General.
He could.
Pastor
Because he's got an Oriental Studies PhD.
If you ask Whoopi,
He could be our next.
she'd be like, yeah, he could be in the running. I'll be there. We can't say. Wait, we can say. We're
can say
saying.
now.
We are saying. I'm saying.
Yeah, we.
We have Chuck Knox doing a roundtable interview
Yes.
with Pastor Wilson and
Yep.
Mrs. Pastor Wilson,
Yep.
Dr. Ben Merkel and
Yep.
Mrs. Dr.
Yep.
Becca Merkel,
Becca Merkel.
and talking about how stories make families win.
That's right.
Ooh.
That's so good.
Right? All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you
Stories
don't,
make families win. I
yeah,
like that.
you don't miss
I should
that.
update that title.
Also, don't miss. I just came up with that right now. Also, don't miss our awesome vendors, meeting new friends, stuff for the kids too, like jumpy castles and.
Yep.
You ask nicely, infant baptisms. Also, did you know you can save money by signing up for a club membership? So go to
Come on now.
fightlaughfeast.com, sign up for a club membership, get $100 off your registration. We can't wait to fellowship with you, sing psalms with you, and celebrate God's goodness in Knoxville, October 6th through the 8th.
So many exciting announcements to announce, but we'll get there.
It's what we do
Do
with
it.
announcements.
Now.
So I think CrossPolitic was the first one to kind of break the monkeypox pandemic.
We were?
No, we actually
okay.
weren't.
I wasn't here that day.
But apparently, it's getting worse. Listen to what Fauci has to say now.
How is monkeypox spread? And do we have concerns that the way it's spreading now may change and metastasize over time?
Well, it's spread by close skin-to-skin contact. The lesions are pustules on the skin. Sometimes you can make them easily visible. You see them. Sometimes in their early form, you may not notice them or confuse them with other skin lesions. But it's really skin-to-skin contact is the major way. Likely, if you have pustules that spill over, for example, onto clothing or other inanimate objects, it can spread. This is a virus right now that it has inserted itself into the community of men who have sex with men. And about 99% of the cases that have now been reported are within that demographic group.
Oh.
That doesn't mean that other groups are going to be essentially free of it, because there can be a spillover into cases. So that's why we're taking it very seriously. First of all, for the community at risk, we want to make sure that they are protected. We want to make sure that they get enough testing, enough vaccination, and there's a therapy for it. But it is a problem, Jason, that we take very seriously, because it is spreading at an alarming rate. As you showed the numbers there, now more than 80 countries have had over 18,000 documented cases, and that's probably an undercount.
And in that same interview, Fauci went on to say this.
Should we, as a country, from a public health perspective, should we be moving back to maybe 2020 or at least early 2021 standards, where we go back to social distancing, where we no longer shake hands, we just sort of do elbow bumps? You're saying that's not necessary?
No. I think the idea, don't confuse that, Jason, as social distancing is when you're dealing with a virus that is transmitted by the respiratory route. There's no indication at this point that it is transmitted by the respiratory route. All indications from the demographic and epidemiological profile is that it is transmitted by close skin-to-skin bodily contact, which is the reason why when you listen to the people who have been afflicted with this and you talk about the circumstances, thus far, almost invariable, they say, well, I had a sexual contact over the weekend with someone I didn't know very well, and now all of a sudden, a few days later, I have these lesions appear. That is a recurrent theme. There's no indication at this point, although you always keep an open mind as to other modalities of spread. At this point, it doesn't appear to be anything other than what we're talking about, close person to person, skin to skin.
I'm done with Fauci.
Did you hear what he said?
All I was listening for was that's all I heard.
Over that racket, I was listening, and he said, invariably, a person says, I had sexual contact with someone I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, just like...
and it's just like, it's common. It's,
this is why it's so serious.
So the WHO actually declared monkeypox a public health emergency.
Who?
International, the WHO.
World Health.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who's on first? Who's on third? Yeah.
Mm.
And so they declared it a pandemic. And so here's Dr. Fauci. Can we call him Dr.? Is Dr. Biden? Dr. Joe Biden?
He'd be a hell of a doctor.
Dr. Fauci. But the thing I want to pick out here is when there's no desire, there's no pushback just to think through, God's law and the biblical way of handling this thing. Yeah. All these sexually transmitted diseases that we have here in our culture, and we don't think, STDs and all that stuff, and we don't think that this is not a judgment from God.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right. But what basically he's saying, how do we get monkeypox? Through homosexual sex. That's what he's saying. Man-to-man contact.
I mean, honestly,
and apparently stranger danger.
Right.
Man-to-man contact.
I'm pretty I'm kind of impressed that he actually said it.
Yeah, went that far.
I mean, that's not been something that people are advertising.
No.
And isn't God great to call it monkeypox? I mean, doesn't he tell the best stories? Yeah. Like, that's what you got. Yeah. Now you're acting like animals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the thing I thought about was, you remember when the start of the pandemic happened, they shut us down off of breathing. Shut off your oxygen, shut off your churches from having...
At one point, they were talking about wearing goggles.
They're talking about wearing goggles. People were walking around in plastic suits and trash bags going into the store.
And then he went on to say you need to stop having sex with other men, right?
Now, he didn't say that. And that's the thing. When is it going to happen? I mean, they took away every possible right given to us. Right. Now, they have this monkeypox stuff skin
to skin.
Skin to skin. They know what's happening. Remember we had
99% of it.
Jordan Vaughn came on and said they were following people through, what was it, Tumblr, some sort of setup that people meet each other and hook up on. I can't remember what it was. But they were tracking the app and found out that Tinder, that's what it was. Tinder, Tumblr, same thing. And they were tracking that and realized that, people, why didn't they just shut that down and say, hey, this is a health emergency. Right. No more Tinder connections.
That's what they did to the rest of us.
Hey, you know what? We're
not a protected class.
This is a pandemic. No more gay clubs. No more gay sex.
Right.
This is a pandemic.
Right.
Gay sex is destroying us.
Well, because USA Today
protected class.
That's right. USA Today said gay people should not be stigmatized by this virus.
Right.
Wow.
And it said don't. And then this is Dr. Mahdi Sabanai.
I'm sure that's not what his name is.
Yeah, no. Said don't think this as a gay disease. It can occur through close contact.
Yeah.
But
1%.
Yeah.
But and here's
Less than
how.
1%.
And this is how. But if you think about it, so this is primarily through gay sex. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have people who are bi, and now they're gonna have sex with gay folks, and they'll come back,
Yeah,
and then
right.
this happened. This is not the first time we've seen this. Remember the Undercover Brother? This was something that happened back in the day. And it was black men who were both homosexuals and they liked women at the same time, bisexual. And so they found out that their husbands were undercover brothers because they started contracting STDs and HIV
like
and
Magic
AIDS.
Johnson.
And so it spread into the heterosexual
Yeah,
community
right. They
that
gave it-
way.
they gave it to their wives.
gave it to their wives,
Right.
right? And then they get a divorce and all of a sudden it spreads
goes.
naturally. And it happens because of the fact that you aren't having sex the way that God has had said to have sex, right? Between a husband and a wife only, right?
Yeah.
And
life is always harder when you don't obey God.
yeah,
That's right.
I mean, like it's just like, I mean, this is fact. Like God made the world, and when you disobey Him, life's harder.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And we talk about it on national TV as if like, no, we can disobey Him and it'll be okay.
We can figure this out.
We can figure this out. We've got more money. We'll pay for the treatment.
We can have a better ethic than God.
No, yeah, I
and
know.
we can, and that's what even Christians are saying. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a little bit more. So, are you done, Gabe?
Yeah,
I just don't
yeah,
wanna-
yeah.
so-
Are you done?
Are you done? Are you done?
Are you done?
All right. So
It's
something.
just don't stigmatize gay people. That's all I'm saying. That's my point from that. Like,
I'm trying. You know what? I'm not trying to stigmatize them. I'm trying to save them.
that's right.
right.
Man,
I'm
that's
trying to
right.
save your life,
Amen.
man. Gay
Amen.
sex is going to destroy you.
Right. It's going to destroy you.
Anyway, all right. So there's this bill. It's not really a new bill. It's called Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000. And other purposes is to reauthorize the Trafficking Victims Protection of 2000 and for other purposes. This bill popped up. Most bills don't catch a lot of attention except for something that's happened.
Right.
This bill popped up because it was a 401-20 vote in favor of it, and the 20 happened to be Republicans.
Only Republicans voted against
Only
it.
Republicans voted against it, and it's like
Because they must be for sex trafficking.
right, right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But there's something else inside of here. Why would
Right.
they even bring this up again?
Right.
But it made me think of. So I don't know yet. What was the guy in Texas? Your guy.
Chip Roy.
Chip Roy. Chip
Yep.
Roy was one of the 20 who voted
We
against
we
it.
just call him the guy in Texas that's your guy.
Your guy. Because
He's
deep in the
pretty
heart
awesome.
of Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
But one of the reasons that he said he voted against it was because he's like, I didn't read the bill, so I didn't know what it was about. It's probably good or bad. I don't know, so I voted no on the bill.
Right.
I thought you can have a middle vote on that too.
You
like
can abstain or something.
like that.
Yeah,
Anyway, but he voted
You can vote present.
present. And
Yeah.
well, he didn't do that. He voted no. But it made me think about something else. I was going through the bill and I was like, okay, wait a second. What is the penalty for sex trafficking?
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't find that in the bill. And so I was like, well, guys, let's look up what the penalty for sex trafficking is in America.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, maybe the bill is adding to the fact that we want to put to death
Tighten
people
up the
who are
standards, tougher
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
standards, whatever, yeah.
And it doesn't say that. It says inside of our current penalties is that if the victim was under the age of 14 years in age and is in forced fraud or coercion by the perpetrator, the penalty is not less than 15 years in prison or up to life. 15 years or up to life.
Yeah.
If the victim was aged 14 to 17, which I don't know why the ages are there, don't understand that, the penalty shall not be less than 10 years in prison or up to life.
Yep. They actually dropped the penalty a little bit. It goes
Yeah.
from 15 to life to 10
Now,
life.
anyone who obstructs or attempts to obstruct the enforcement of this statute faces as many as 20 years in prison. Defendants who are convicted under this statute are also required to pay restitution to their victims for any losses they caused.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so if we have somebody who has committed, they're stealing human beings and they're forcing them into sex slavery, why would they only get 14 or 15 years? What's the standard for what they're judging this by? I was like, wait a second. God actually has a standard in order to judge someone who steals another human being.
Yeah, sex trafficking.
And not even just sex.
Slave.
Right.
Man stealing.
Man stealing in itself is a crime that's punishable by death.
Right.
And I was like, why aren't we using that as the standard to say, okay, if you steal another human being, regardless of the age, I don't care if you're 24, you steal another human being. Yeah. You're caught and you're tried, you're given a case and you get the death penalty and dot the end. We don't have any more of this. And not just the death penalty, you get a public. Because what's happening is they're seeing that sex trafficking is happening a lot more in America, and they're saying, well, this is a big problem.
Right.
Well, the problem is no one sees anybody who gets judged rightly for it.
Right. Right. Because if you get caught, you get a free hotel.
Yeah, for 14 to life.
Right.
Yeah. And you get a meal every day.
With cable television.
So what we do is we say, hey, we know that you were stolen and that person put you into slavery for sex. Now what we want you to do for the next 14 years or possibly to the end of your life is make sure that he has a nice warm cell, right, and a lot of food to eat and possibly cable.
And some pornography in prison.
Right, yeah.
Home. It's where you build your legacy, where traditions are started, seeds are planted, meals are shared, and stories are told. We are Chris and Natalie Carpenter, owners of Story Real Estate, and our team of top agents helps people find homes in Moscow, Idaho, and around the country.
Have you thought about a move? Contact us to get connected with a top agent who shares your values and puts your family first. Or reach out to us about our Moscow relocation guide.
Wherever you're looking to go, we can help you find home. Call us at Story Real Estate or visit us at storyrealestate.com and start building your legacy.
Hi, I'm Robert Borton, CEO of Classical Conversations, the world's largest classical Christian homeschooling community. I'm launching a new podcast, Refining Rhetoric. If you like CrossPolitic or just listen to hear what crazy stuff they're saying today, you will enjoy Refining Rhetoric. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform. I practice the 15 tools of learning by interviewing great guests, looking at current events, and talking about cryptocurrency.